So today we test all three engines on parallel in the boat and try to figure out how much coal is needed, how much steam is needed to run three steam engines parallel on AMPHORA. And to start with the whole process, first of all we add some water, powder, and this is a special powder which is used to prevent corrosion on the boiler, and it contains various chemicals, but they're naturally degradable, no problem. It's a soda, it's natrium hydrogencarbonate. It is sodium hydrogen phosphate to prevent rust formation and to replace oxygen on iron and convert it to phosphate, which then covers the iron and prevents further oxidization. It contains also a bit of sodium sulfite. The sulfite is necessary to bind the oxygen, which is dissolved in water, and it formates and finally sodium sulfate, which is no problem. It is like plaster, and so the oxygen is bound. So you reduce with all these trick chemicals, you reduce the oxygen and you cover the iron with a protective compound. The last thing which is dissolved in these in the water is tannin. Tannin is isolated from oak trees. This is a natural compound which prevents the growth of bacteria. It's something like it's an acid also, and it prevents the formation or the growth formation of bacteria. On the other hand, what you also have in this the final compound is starch. Starch is necessary to bind dissolved compounds and precipitate them to allow the precipitation. This is the final process, so the soda in combination with starch will also allow to bind the oil, dissolve the oil, which makes it accidentally delivered to the boiler, and which is not good for the boiler. So the soda is dissolving the oil if there's some oil in the water, and finally after the cleaning of the boiler, everything is pushed out by these chemical compounds, and the boiler survives many times longer. So we added this. I also added a bit of half spoon of 10 liter, and that is self-made, and because the commercial available is maybe 100 times more expensive. You can do it, you can prepare these things by yourself. It's very simple. You get them even in a drugstore, the single compounds. For the next step, I add some water to the boiler, and I use for this purpose here this water pump. It's a fire extinguisher from the Second World War, used in houses to extinguish fire. And I use this to pump pumped water into the system while it is clockwise into the boiler. And I put it here in a tank and pump water in it. This is how I put the boiler, and I see here on the water gauge that the water is already coming. And there's already enough water in it now, and I provide the water via this service valve in the back of the steam water pump. Here you use also this valve. It's the initial phase of the priming of the pump. If there's some air in the pump, you start the pump until water is coming out of this valve at the beginning, and then you close it. This is important to see that this pump is really underwater, and then it is capable to generate enough pressure to pump this water then against the stream pressure of the boiler. So very important at the beginning, see that at the beginning of the pumping of the pump, water is coming out, leaving this valve. If it's done, you close it. As I said, I use this valve also to fill via this valve the boiler at the beginning. Boiler is full now. Take it off. Then we go to the next step. Okay, now we filled some water also in the hot well. This is necessary to prime also the system from this side. So the water, the treated water with the water compound is now filled in it. I fill the hot well so we have enough water to circulate right at the beginning via the Stuart 5A pump, for instance, which is then preheated in a condenser and injected into the boiler as well. So this water is also added. Next step is now to start and prepare the firing. So there are several places which require oil, and we have to fill them before we start. First of all is the oil tank here linked to the Stuart 5A. We have to apply oil in the displacement oiler. And we provide or add oil to the most moving parts here. So we do the same, of course, on the other side. This is a displacement oiler of the steam water pump of the Southwest pump. This is, by the way, pure steam oil, which has a high content of sulfur. Sulfur prevents also the formation of iron oxide, so it's protective for the iron. It also some oil here. And we all, that's all here, all moving parts. Okay, now we start with the fire. I have here my lighter on you. These are pressed wooden chips, bars soaked with paraffin. And now I add wood. More wood. A good wood fire is the best start to generate some gluing coal. And later, 10 minutes later, we add some coal then. Open also here the valve to see if the water is boiling. You will see then here some steam coming out. The steam valve to the machine first is closed to allow to not too early to get the steam out of, and later I open it to preheat then the Stuart 5A and the steam pump, but first it's closed. I open a bit the stack valve to allow some air going out also and to generate some draft. I leave it open for at the beginning here. Now we wait a few minutes. So now you see the fire, wood fire starting. Smoke formation is low. Okay, now I think it's time to add some coal. I take more rather Welsh coal or Polish coal and not so much anthracit. This will come later. You can see the fire in the back and the coal is now mixed with the wood, and it is a bit more smoke produced. I leave at the beginning the door still a bit open for enough oxygen supply at the beginning. So more coal is added. Now I close it. Let's take a look in the fire hole. Yeah, it's burning. A little more coal added, and definitely the steam starts to the smoke is stronger, and the color is showing that coal is added. It's now more brownish. Now you can hear this stack blower closing, opening. So the steam is generating the first, and the draft is increased. Now let's observe. I close it and open this valve here, and you see? The first steam is generated. I open now all drain cocks from both machines, so to allow the preheating of both machines, the steam pump and the Stewart 5A. So the preheating of the cylinder is now taking place in both machines. We will observe this during the next 5 minutes. I also open a bit the drain valve to allow or to generate a better draft in the stack. And the fire is stronger now. Okay, let's check now. Let's have a look. You see already the drain is coming. I open now the valve to the steam pump, and oil is coming, and in a few seconds also then this first steam, as you can see. The preheating of both machines. Allow start a bit to get rid of the water in the cylinder. The same is happening now with the Stewart 5A. So all the drain valves are open. The first movements of the machine. This is necessary to preheat the machine. I stop this because I don't want to have the boiler already filled. I open also this valve now that most of the water is pumped directly into the hot well. I think now we can close it when it works. And the machine is running. I open also this valve so that not too much oil is provided to the Stuart 5A at the moment, because it's properly oiled already. Let's have a look to the fire. Looks great. The fire is seen here. I will add more coal. This now stack blower is on. I added some coal and now we push it up to 75 psi. The stack blower. I go now down. Yeah, with stack blower you get suddenly an increase of fire, as expected. Now we have 3 machines running. The steam engine, the water pump and the Stuart 5A. The pressure of 70 psi. Water is pumping, light is on, now we have the front light on, the movable light, the voltage of 13 volts, so now the question is, can it keep up the pressure when 3 machines are running? And as it looks like, it works. The water pump is running, the Stuart is running, the steam turbine is running. It's amazing, they are all running. We only supply water with the water pump. There is no water supply at the moment by the Stuart 5A. I open it now to see what happens. The water is pumping against the pressure. Stuart 5 is pumping. The water steam pump is pumping. The steam engine is running. still 50 psi. And what we do is, of course, we have a shower. Now we circle again in the back circle, cross circle, no water pumping by sewer pipe A. Water pump is running. This is at 50 psi. 50 psi is sufficient to run both machines. Now we stop the machine. The fire door is open so that cool air can go through it. Then the steam already decreased, so there's no draw anymore. It's just from outside cool air coming. So this reduces already the pressure in the boiler. What I do now, I take out all the oil contaminated condensate at various positions in the machine. There's this huge syringe. This is made of brass. Now I pull out the condensate at these positions where I collected it, next to the Stewart 5A. So now we, after stopping the machine, I clean the coal in the ash pan, and we have still pressure on the system of about 30 psi, and this pressure will be used now to clean the boiler. For this purpose, I open this valve to get rid of the water. There's still some water in it, and now we open it and let's see what's happened. Now we blow off the boiler. All lines will be cleaned now by opening the condensing steam. So now the pressure drops. The pressure drops. And the boiler is get rid of water. So we drained emptied all the lines, the condensed lines. So no pressure anymore. Boiler empty, now it can dry.